One day, out of the blue, I decided to start waking up at 4:30 every morning. At the time, I figured it would probably last a week, maybe two, maybe a month. It's now been 2,000 mornings, and I'm still waking up at the same time. Because somewhere along the way, I discovered something that the modern world had quietly taken from me. And I think once I got it back, I just realized it's way too valuable to give up. When I started waking up at 4:30 every morning, I would go and sit at my desk with just a single desk lamp turned on. And pretty soon, what I started to realize was that the best part of it was actually what wasn't happening. There were no emails, no text messages, no phone calls, no interruptions, no beeps and buzzes, no sounds. For 2.5 hours, the world just left me alone. And so this space suddenly opened up in my life where I could actually choose to put things on a daily basis. And what that eventually turned into was the ability to consistently do the most important things every day and to do them first in this quiet stillness of the morning hours. In hindsight, the strange thing is actually that it wasn't until I had accidentally stumbled on the solution that I finally came to understand the real problem. The problem is that the modern world tends to allocate your life for you. It tends to fill up every single space and steal every sliver of your time and attention. To be honest, much of our days are taken up by legitimate claims of other people on our lives, but then whatever's left over tends to get sucked up by algorithms that aren't designed to make us happy or better people. They're designed to keep us distracted and addicted. So picture you have this jar, and it represents all the hours in your day. And the amazing thing about it is that it starts out empty every day. Like every day this is empty again, and you get to choose what you put in there. It sounds really cool. The problem is that for most of us, starting around 7 a.m., someone else starts putting things in there for us. Someone else starts telling us what to put in there or asking us if we can put some things in there for them. And so, for example, if you have a family, your spouse, your kids probably start asking you for help in the morning. And unless you're just a terrible person, you give it to them. And then your job is like, hey, how about give me the next, 8 to 10 hours of your day? And so you go to work and you start living that part of your day to make money, largely to make someone else money. And in the process, of course, there's plenty of distractions. You're getting text messages and emails and social media is going off. But you keep working. You have a couple breaks and your phone kind of steals those from you. But you work for 8 hours. When you get off work, you drive home and start doing adult stuff like taking care of the yard, paying bills, doing laundry, cooking a meal. And of course, that whole time, it's not like you're distraction-free. You're still getting text messages and phone calls, even while you're trying to get that stuff done. And then, towards the end of the evening, you're completely exhausted. And so maybe you pick your phone back up or turn on the TV to unwind. And you start watching a couple videos. And a couple hours later, you've looked at a couple hundred pieces of content that are just completely disconnected and didn't really provide you any value. You didn't really unwind, but you are tired. And your body starts telling you, hey, give me some sleep or I'm actually going to drive you crazy and then kill you. It's roughly what our body does if we don't give it sleep. And so you go to sleep. Did you notice something? Nothing in here came intentionally from us. This was all full of reactions to external needs and stimuli. It's essentially a hamster wheel, and tomorrow we'll get back on that wheel and do the same things to keep it spinning and spinning every day. If you do that long enough, one day you wake up 10 years older, wondering why you're still the same person who never got around to doing the things that mattered most. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. Because the modern world is like an ocean, and all day long it's just wave after wave crashing into us with notifications and obligations and algorithms serving up this foaming sea of endless content and noise that we just can't ever escape. But the thing that I really learned waking up early in the morning is that the tide goes out in the morning. For a little while, every day, the waves pull back and give us time to breathe, time to think, time to act with intent. And the only reason we haven't noticed this sooner is because we've been sleeping through it. But now that I've gained the perspective of having woken up while the tide was out for the past 5 years, I'm starting to really see the difference it makes. I'm seeing that all those mornings weren't about changing my schedule or making me more productive, so much as it was about changing me. It's still changing me. Having the time to think and read and pray and grow has literally shaped the direction of my life. Like, it's shaping who I'm becoming. I've gone from somebody who used to read random self-help books to somebody who's now studying the great works of the Western world. I've had ideas during those early morning hours that I never would have had at 9 a.m. One of those was opening this bookstore. Another one was launching the Morning Light. Speaking of which, if you're tired of shallow distractions and you want more focused and thoughtful content, go ahead and hit subscribe. There's a lot more like this coming, including videos on how to wake up early and how to have a morning that actually builds depth instead of just adding breadth. A morning that makes us thicker instead of just rolling us out thinner like everything else. Another thing that literally just occurred to me this morning is that I often hear people say that their best ideas come to them in the shower. And I think there's actually really something to that. Obviously, it's not because the shower is imbued with some sort of magic. I think it's because that's literally the only 5 to 10 minutes of our day when we're actually alone and undistracted, where we have a barrier between us and the rest of the world with all of its noisiness. But imagine what would happen if you had that not for 5 or 10 minutes a day, but for 1 or 2 hours every day, every morning. That's roughly what the past 5 years have been like for me. And honestly, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to share some of that with you, and I hope it's been helpful so far. If so, if you don't mind, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And also, if you're somebody who's trying actively to wake up while the tide is still out, good for you. Keep at it. And if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Thanks for watching.